Hey there, fellow warriors. Welcome to another legendary episode from YouTube channel Thrand.
I break through the walls that they build in my mind. I say you won't go with the flow. The rebel inside is the power I let it go out of control.
Hi, Thrand here.
Hi, this is Eldgrim.
And we're here with a long-awaited middle-aged bronze spearhead by Neil Burridge. It's beautiful. It's based on actual historical copies, or finds that he made copies of. So Neil does a really good job of recreating the style, the hammer hardening, the casting, and he does actual weapons, if you see a lot of them online, that are elegant. They're the actual weight. They're not too heavy. They're not bulky. They're not like some people online use softer bronze. The bronze is not correct. It's not hardened, and to make up for it, they use thick, gaudy, reproductions, and they still aren't really up to par. This stuff, we've tested the swords, and they performed wonderfully. They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm proud to carry it.
Oh, most certainly. We did a sharpening video too as well, guys, and it just took us a while on this one because we had to shape these shafts. And if you look how they're shaped very much tapered towards the back and tapered towards the front, a lot like a javelin.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because during the time of, like Homer talks in the Iliad of them throwing their spears, the same spears they fought with as javelins, at that time period, it appears most of the spears, the way we find the tapered shafts historically, are not only fighting spears to fight with most likely a center grip wicker rawhide covered shield, a lightweight shield that they had gone to at that time that people talk of. Most likely they were using that, not the big old stand-up shields like
the Spartans.
Who was that used that? Not Hector.
Ajax. No, Ajax.
Ajax
had the
he
giant
still supposedly used the big tower giant shield that you could almost set on the ground if you had to because it was too heavy. We're not sure if that was center grip. Might have been.
Right.
Might
and we're not even sure if Homer was exaggerating at that point.
Right, and that some of the Homer wrote that, what was it, 600 years after?
About 600 or 700 years after the Mycenaean era, which was about 1200 or 1300 BCE. And that would be about when we think the Trojan War occurred, and that's where. Then interestingly, that's the era that both these weapons are modeled after.
Oh yeah, the Naue 2 and our middle-aged bronze spearhead. And this is a spearhead. We don't find very large heads normally. They could make them large, but these are lightweight, fast, and if you look how the actual socket's made, the wood goes all the way into the tip up to about here. Now, if it's shaped properly, which I shaped both of these properly, the wood's actually reinforcing the head. Not only the round shape and the blade solid, but the wood is being covered with metal and then given a beautiful edge.
Yeah.
So this is, if you look at this looks like it was designed to stand up, not bend, and to pierce armor, if you ask me. So what we're going to do today is test it out in different ways. We're not going to try to stay with any one way and think it's the best, but see what we can do with it. See what this bronze is capable of. What can it penetrate?
Well, if these
how well does it work?
Yeah, I mean, if these Naue 2s are any indication, I have a pretty good feeling about these. And you know what? I really appreciate everything that Neil Burridge has done. I mean, sending us these Naue 2s, sending us these spearheads. And what I really appreciate is they have this antique look and feel and this functionality. I mean, it looks like something that got dug up right out of an archaeological site. Correct. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, even the
if you look at the impurities, you can actually see how the wood goes all the way to the tip. I did that to reinforce it. I'm assuming, since he did exact replicas, that's why it was done. I mean, I'm just assuming, I'm positive.
Either way,
even in the Iron Age, this was done to reinforce spears like this.
That's what I mean. It gives it that really
just
authentic
like a Celtic spear.
It gives it a really authentic aesthetic that I happen to like, and I think it's pleasing. And I can't wait to check out the spear and see what it can do when it performs.
Most certainly. This is one of those items that you can either throw to reach out and get somebody, or you can thrust and get lots of reach with it any way you want to use it.
Well, I'm itching, man. I'm ready to do this.
Boom.
I'm sure everybody's ready to see it.
Yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, the only one hung up a little bit. I do think this was designed not to hang up, but it's still possible on something like a bottle like that. But it felt really good to me. It went clean through, and it felt really fast and light and maneuverable. Very nice. Oh.
Nice throw.
That's multiple layers of cardboard. Let's do it again here.
Nice.
Like I said, with these type of weapons, you can really reach out and get some.
Well, ain't no doubt about it.
And it's very difficult to tell whether you're not going to lose the spear and you're attacking somebody in any form. You know, because you've got your reach, but at any given time you could be fighting and...
Ooh. Alright, so I'm here with my Messenian era spear, and as you'll notice, mine is longer than the one Thrand fashioned for himself. This doesn't mean that one's any better than the other. In fact, I assume they'll both perform about the same.
Beautiful. Man. Brutal.
Yeah, total brutality. Definitely armor piercers. These are great.
Alright. And when I want to make a point of, I get it back by my head, holding it by the balance. I cannot reach the target this way. And the only way, supposedly, I can is like this, which would be extremely further back than I'm supposed to hold it. So let's see what happens. Ah! Now, how was that possible? That's the throw and the slide that I talked about. Did I reach out with it? Yes, I did, because I wanted full momentum. But if you look where the spear's at, that's not where I was holding it. The spear is now that much farther out. As you notice, I still can't reach the target, correct, Eldgrim?
Nope, sure as hell can't.
Whoa!
Nice.
If I can even get it out. Now, am I saying that you generate the exact same power as throwing every time? No, but with proper training, you possibly can, even with a slide, and not lose the spear. So, yeah, it's possible to do more than I'm doing, I honestly believe, in penetration. But I'm also trying to control the spear when it goes out. I don't want to lose it, you know, so I have to be realistic about it. I can't just throw it and not hold it while I'm testing it point blank. That's the kind of power you can achieve with a throw. All right, I got to thinking, and I was looking at the edge and how well it's held up and everything we've done, and I just wondered, that's steel. It's mild steel. It's not super thick, but what would it do if I stab it? Would it damage the edge or the point? Let's find out. I don't think so. Let's see what it did. It went clean in. Other than some paint on it, there's no real edge damage. I'm extremely impressed. Let's try again. Oh! It knocked it over, but look at the size of that hole. I'm sorry, that's extremely impressive.
Move the spear out of the way so we can actually see the hole.
And that's bronze on steel.
I tell you what, man, if that were...
The edge doesn't seem like it needs much more than maybe a touch-up at the least. It's not really that dull. It can still be used to penetrate. You can see it's still sharp. I wonder if it would go through steel armor if it's thin, like let's say maybe a 20 gauge piece of steel, like we cut in that video.
Oh, you mean in the Viking sword challenge?
Alright, after seeing how well the bronze performed against steel, mild steel, and mild steel, as far as I know, is slightly harder than iron, by hair. It's almost the same as iron armor, if you were doing iron armor. But after seeing that didn't damage the edge, I came up with an idea for a test. We've got our ballistics gelatin here. It's about a 20% gel. It's really, really hard. We have our blood bottle in it, filled with a blood concoction, and a PVC spine or bone. I guess you can see this is partial torso or something. But that's all we had at the time. We decided we'd use that. That would be a good medium. And what I'm going to put on it, because I'm assuming in the region, you wouldn't want to wear too much cloth if you were using something else to reinforce it. That's a lot of times what they did with mail and so on. Mail, you want something more rigid under it, and more layers to make it rigid. A lot of times it's stitched together tightly. But we're going to put this on here. This is 8 layers of like a faux linen. And I'm going to use a stretch shirt hopefully here to hold it in place, help hold it in place. And I've got it pretty solid here where it gives. You've got the give like if it was flesh from the actual material. And it's up against something enough that it's not going to just break off and fly across or something. It'll have like it has some mass to it. The whole thing goes. So that should give us pretty realistic interpretation of what we're doing. And start off putting metal plate over it. Because obviously if we tear this up, we can't go backwards and undo it and then retest it. So we'll start off with some plate. This is about, I don't know, 22, 20 gauge. It's less than a millimeter. But the point is, most of the Bronze Age armor was about a millimeter thick. Sometimes it wasn't as thick, up to 18 gauge. Could be up to 18 gauge. I might try secure this better. Because I really don't want it to move if we can help. Basically, this type of armor, just so you understand, it's soft steel, which is equivalent to like wrought iron, but maybe a hair harder. It's almost equivalent. That type of armor, normally you don't see plate a lot of times unless it's articulated like a lorica or something, or like it's a scale, or a mail was very popular because they relied more on the backing to absorb the energy, therefore the rings didn't get damaged at all a lot of times. They just give, like a ballistic vest. You took some blunt trauma or some force, depending on what kind of blow it was, but it didn't destroy your armor, it didn't normally kill you. In this kind of situation, early period when they're working with bronze and so on, they did hammer harden it to a degree, so possibly it'd be a lot like this. We're not sure. I mean, I don't have a hammered bronze breastplate to test out. We do know they did wear some bronze plates with padding on it, most likely. Because I mean, I think cloth was the primary armor. But Christopher Matthews talks in his book, Storm of Spears, of this technique being used primarily keeping the spear out in front. But we'll start off with this, and I'll try to get good power. And what I'm impressed about the Rangers who are doing this test is to see if this will pierce steel. And this is a bronze spear, and it didn't seem to damage it. Ah! Okay, kick back on me. Because I hit high, but I did hit over the gel. We got a little dimple. No damage really to our bronze that I can tell. We've re-secured it, so it won't do that kickback. I can see exactly where the gel's located at. And if I do hit the tape, I don't think that a layer of duct tape is going to make that big difference on that. And for all I know, it could. Extra layer of cloth maybe, I don't know. But I really don't think it's going to make that big a difference. We'll go ahead and try that thrust as it's described, and I'll bring it way back. Some people have accused me of not drawing back enough. Make sure I have full range of penetration and reach. Ah! Alrighty. We got a hole, but nothing too significant. About a quarter inch. Best one we've got from this so far, but I don't think we pierced the gel or any of the cloth. So we're going to continue here, and I'm going to do my overarm slide or overarm. It's the overarm ward or overarm foam up grip. It's a follow through like a throw. And Christopher Matthews, he states that there was tests done where one millimeter bronze, you could not pierce it with a dory, which is much heavier and longer than this. Later century with an iron head. You couldn't pierce bronze armor without throwing it, is what they stated, to get enough energy. Otherwise, it was probably their determination. They were probably using, axes to cut holes. But I kind of disagree with that. Let's see what happens today. Those are little bitty, insignificant ones right there. Let's see if we can get a little more damage and a little more power. Ah! We definitely have more penetration. So a quarter inch to, I would say, at least an inch. We cut some fabric. Would that be a killing blow? Probably not. Try again. Very promising. Ah! Okay, now we have almost an inch width across the blade. And almost 2 inches of penetration, and that felt cold and nasty. I think we got into gel. We're going to look at this in a minute. We're going to look at it in a minute. So I'll try hitting another area, and I'll try to just go nuts and see what happens. I'll just throw it into it and see what happens. Ah! Ooh. I think that might have made it into gel. I hit a hair high. But we got that same kind of big old armor wound that looks a lot like some of the ones we find historically that were deemed maybe axes or something like that. All right, as you can see, these are significant. I mean, they would at least make you believe if it made it through everything. We're going to find out if it did. Looks promising. You have cuts and everything. I'm removing our metal. Let's remove this. The cuts are through the shirt. Let's see if they're making it all the way through. They're making it all the way through. They went all the way into the gel at least an inch or so. And we have the wounds. Some of them are not that significant, but it's hard to tell on gel a lot of times. They're about an inch or so. Yeah. This one up here just tore into it because of how high up it was. None of it hit our blood bag, so nothing went in, you know, significantly deep. But the guy would definitely be bleeding, and he would know he got hit if he did that. And just to say, with a slightly heavier shaft, our poles are kind of light compared to what they could be, because I had to be able to shape them, and we only had certain materials available. If we had a heavier pole, I probably could have got a lot more depth of penetration. And they might have had more cloth. As we see, the cloth makes a big difference. It could even have some leather in it to make it more rigid, be stitched, have that over it. But I think mostly the cloth was just to absorb impact and to help stop anything from going through. As you see, it did a very, very good job. But would it be worth doing that type of extra power? I would say yes, because what if you were just stabbing through cloth? There'd be cloth in areas where you're just stabbing through cloth armor. Might be have more layers. We'll go ahead and try some cloth out next.
Now we're going to test the analog gel target with its blood inside, covered by 16 layers of cloth, which is meant to mimic cloth armor from around the Mycenaean era. And to stay true to scientific method, we're going to start off, or I'm going to start off by doing the underhand lancing and turning my hip kind of technique, and then we'll switch over to the gig. So let's see if I can make it happen.
You got the blood bag too.
Oh, that's nasty. I think our audience would definitely like to have a closer look at that.
See why you would wear bronze or something over it if you only had about 16 layers. You definitely need more cloth than that spearhead. The way it's shaped. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful! That was awesome. All the way up the wood.
I believe I made it all the way through.
Wood brace.
Yep.
It's right there against it. Beautiful. Completely underneath the brace, the wooden brace, into the cardboard. Through all the gel in that many layers. It's impaled in it. Wow. That is beautiful.
A testament to the power and precision and overall superiority of Thrand's sliding thrust, or I like to call the gigging thrust.
Oh yeah, overarm slide or overarm ward with the slide or throw technique with a full range of motion. And you can even use the body, hip turning, everything. So that's beautiful. I love that. Too bad there wasn't any blood left from the other one. The original.
We'll have to find a way to do refills.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our episode of the Middle-Aged Bronze Spears by Neil Burridge. I think us discovering that you could pierce actually mild steel, which is pretty much equivalent to like wrought iron. Which, I mean, I don't know how that rates exactly with bronze. Bronze is beat and hardened, so it may be slightly harder. The edges on these are slightly harder. We know that Niels goes to a lot of trouble to hammer these edges. We have an extra bevel on mine here where it looks like he double hammered it. He's got a flat out hammer, which is two different designs we find historically. They both performed exceptionally well. They're still sharp. there's no loss to edge.
Not at all.
You can hone it if it does get a little dull, but we're saying it was not too dull, or he couldn't have cut cloth.
Yeah.
We actually cut the cloth after it went through the metal. Otherwise, the cloth would have just punched into the gel and tore a hole in it because it's ballistic gel.
And what's really impressive is that through all of this testing, with both spears, neither one of us ever had to stop and touch up the edge. I mean, the edge was maintained.
It was not necessary. We didn't do that in the testing. That's all I can say.
I'm really impressed with Neil's craftsmanship, and
certainly these are.
I'm impressed with the Greeks' ingenuity with crafting bronze weapons.
The way the wood actually reinforces it, and then how wide and thick the blade is to reinforce the conical shape that's extremely strong. The conical and tubular shape that comes to the point. It's beautiful.
It's a very clever way to deal with the drawbacks of bronze.
And it would seem dangerous to throw this in the wood. After doing all these tests, I have no doubt if I get a nice wooden target, I will throw into it like a javelin. I wouldn't be afraid of the point bending or whatever.
And I mean, the wood, as we tapered it down and set it in here, just acts like a spine for the softer metal, and
it's perfect. Yeah, and then the edge, of course, is harder than the actual socket, so it's beautiful. And we didn't even pin them.
No, yeah.
I just tapered them in the proper manner to go all the way in. You can put a wooden pin. Neil recommends a wooden pin if you get one of these, not a metal pin, because you have to drill the wooden pin out to get it off. And of course, they wouldn't have had steel.
Right.
And they would have used wood themselves because it would have been easier for them to replace it if they had a broken shaft or half to a spear.
I tell you, the Mycenaean era spearheads that we've used today are aces in my book.
Neil Burridge is a master. That's
no doubt about it.
I love this. These are, when I got them, I was excited about them. I'm really excited now. These are great. We're going to come back with our Iliad and Trojan War episode. Why I say Trojan War is we don't believe the Iliad really says 100% accurate. So we're going to go archaeological evidence and the information from there and any other sources to try to reproduce what we thought they fought like at the time. Yeah, our interpretation.
Good point. And you know what? I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited about our the newest addition to our production team. I hope I'm saying your name right. It's DeLeon Schmidt. Schmidt, that's Schmidt. Right. Well, at least we got Schmidt right.
I think we couldn't mess that one up.
You'll notice at the beginning of this episode that we had a new graphic introduction image where we've laid our titles and music and voiceovers in. And it was through the labors of DeLeon Schmidt that we were able to have that, and he's agreed to join us in our efforts by helping us with graphic design and other artistic
endeavors.
Right, yeah, things that are not in my skill set, as evidenced by my rather shoddy.
I liked the hammer, though. I liked it. Neil liked it too in our first bronze video, where you put that in the sharpening video. If y'all guys want to check that out.
Well, I think it's a little,
he thought it was. He didn't like it at first because he's not in that kind of music. But then he thought it just fit that video.
As far as professionals in graphics design, that was a little bit rudimentary, but I appreciate that people do enjoy it. But I really appreciate having somebody that can kind of come in and really bring a new, refreshing sense of style to the show. And so welcome to the production team, and we're looking forward to seeing some more of your work. Guys, we've got lots of great projects coming up now because we have a little extra help. And that means we'll be looking down the barrel of maybe looking into Mifrog some more, possibly doing a few episodes about some James Bond things like the whirl and shoot. Can you hit a bullseye whirling and shooting?
That'd be fun to go to the target range to do something with firearms for a change.
Right, maybe we'll
to break up the monotony. We stay with history, but it's still fun to do.
We talked about building our version of Odd Job's hat.
Oh yeah, just for fun.
Well, and make it functional and see
all this stuff will be spread out though.
Right, No, we'll do it in between our anthropological studies, but we have so many great projects coming up, guys, and you can help us make those projects come to life in bigger and better ways through donations at www.patreon.com, or you can always go through Thrand's PayPal, which is thanethrand@yahoo.com. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, Thane Thrand, spelled Thegn. You'll see it down below. And you know, like our videos and find us on Facebook at Thrand and Eldgrim's Well of Remembrance. There we post a lot of archaeology and anthropology, mostly Viking things, but we throw in some Greek and other cultures as well. And if you want to get exclusive content and have one-on-one discussions with Thrand and myself, you can ask to join our private group, the Thrand YouTube Boat Crew. Join the boat crew, guys. Hang out with some of our other die-hard followers, and we'll be willing to help you figure out how to build shields, or we'll point you in the right direction to people who can help you with any questions you have about history, weapons, martial arts, anything that interests you in our field of study. Guys, thank you so much for watching us, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.
All right.